A guide to housing expense ratio, rent. Housing expense, rent, is a useful indicator for Cash4u to determine how much your customer can afford in monthly credit payments, if at all. Essentially, we use it while underwriting a customer's loan application. This guide will lay out what it is, how to calculate it, and what it means for you, your branch, and your overall portfolio health. What is the housing expense ratio? The housing expense ratio is a percentage determined by dividing the borrower's housing expense by their net income. At its most basic, it's a simple number showing how much of the customer's net income goes to paying for their housing. We use this ratio to determine whether a customer qualifies for an installment loan. Cash4u frequently uses the housing expense ratio in conjunction with debt-to-income ratio, DTI. DTI helps Cash4u see how much customers spend on monthly debts versus how much money they have coming into their bank account. Both formulas give Cash4u a better view of your customer's financial situation to prevent a bad loan from happening in the first place. After all, if we get this wrong, you end up providing customers with a loan they can't afford, negatively affecting their credit rating and negatively affecting your bad debt loan losses. How to get the most accurate housing expense. Interviewing the customer. Start by asking an open-ended question such as, what's the monthly rental amount on your lease? This way, you are not narrowing the question by asking about just their portion, assuming they have roommates. After all, the tenant is on the hook for the full amount if any tenants leave. Evaluating the bank statement. Most landlords require their rent be paid automatically through a pre-authorized debit, PAD, post-dated checks, or e-transfer. Review the bank statement and look for recurring and regular payments going out of their bank account. If you don't see it, interview the customer and ask them another opened question. Do you have another account where your rent is paid from? Lease or rent receipts. If you are unable to validate the rental amount through the bank statements, ask for a copy of the lease and/or the rent receipts. At the end of the day, there has to be a paper trail of how a customer pays their housing. It doesn't get paid by magic. Evaluate the results. At this point, you need to put your risk hat on. Otherwise, you end up approving a loan a customer can't afford, and ultimately affecting your branch's ability to meet its delinquency targets and ultimately earn your branch team bonus program. For example, if a customer who is married and has 2 kids says they pay $400 in rent, does that make sense? Wouldn't it be great if we all could pay $400 each month in rent? When it doesn't make sense, you need to ask more questions. Check the local rental rates in that area. Ask for documentation to prove the amount. Collaborate with your manager, peers, and even district manager. You can also have rental statistics for your municipality as a reference guide for quick comparisons printed and posted in your back office. 1. Go to rentalhousingindex.ca, then click on Rental Housing Data. 2. Click on Cost in the navigation bar on the left, then click on the Municipalities tab as pictured in the image on the right. 3. Mouse over the map so small icons show up in the top left corner. Click on the magnifier glass icon to expand it to the right. 4. Start typing a municipality name. The list of matching municipalities will show up in the drop-down list below. Choose the municipality you want to check average rent for. 5. The map will zoom into the chosen and neighboring municipalities. Mouse over the map to see average rent data for the municipalities shown in the map below. And how does it affect your branch's loan book? Final loan approval decisions are made using the monthly rental amount. It's an important number to determine if your customer can or can't afford a loan. When used together, the housing expense and the DTI, debt-to-income, calculations, which is run in the background, ensures that every good loan is approved and every bad loan is declined. The bottom line. Branches that prioritize sales often fall into the trap of extending credit to the wrong customers and paying the price of higher delinquency, which is not only bad for the branch team, but it's also bad business. And every bad loan negatively affects customers' credit histories. Accordingly, the housing expense is one of the most important parts of the application process, and a way you and your customer, combined with other credit decisioning tools, can determine how much of a loan the customer can afford, if at all, ensuring that every good loan is approved and every bad loan is declined. Ultimately, protecting the company's assets and ensuring delinquency is at the lowest levels humanly possible.